Hey guys, this is Bharadwaj with Fonearena.com, and what we have here today for unboxing is the Asus Zenfone 4. So the Zenfone range recently launched with 3 screen sizes, or rather 4, we'll explain that later, but recently we reviewed the Asus Zenfone 5 and also unboxed the Asus Zenfone 6. So this is a phablet while this is a mid-range device. So the Zenfone 4 with an obviously smaller screen occupies the lower end of the range. So it's budget conscious and most possibly a competitor to the Motorola Moto E and all the other phones that are in the same price range. So this is costing 6,000 rupees and has a 4-inch screen, has 8 gigs of internal storage, 1 GB RAM, runs on an Intel processor, dual core. So it has a lot of things going for it, and what Asus says is that it is a high quality, affordable smartphone. So that's what they say, and we're going to see if that's true in our full review. But before that, let's unbox this device and show you a quick hardware and a software overview along with the box contents. So let's go ahead. So let's straight away take a look at the box here. As usual, as with the recent Asus boxes, we have the highlights over at the side, which should be pretty self-explanatory, and then you have the stickers at the sides. But one important thing to show you is the model number. So this is A400CG, which means that this has a 4-inch screen. There is also another Asus Zenfone 4 that comes with a 4.5-inch screen and a FWVGA display. That's A450CG. So this retails for 6,000 rupees and that retails for 1,000 more. So that's the difference between these two devices. So let's go ahead and open up the box here, which should be easy, hopefully. There you go. So that's the Zenfone 4 right there on top. Looks like a very small device. It's been a very long time since we have used a 4-inch device. Considering the Samsung Galaxy S, the original flagship, used to have a 4-inch screen, is mind-boggling. So this is Zenfone 4, a 4-inch screen device, and is retailing for 6,000 rupees. Looks really neat. Let's open up the cover here. So there are instructions on how to open up the back. It seems like you just need to push it back and it will open. So it has a soft touch back and has a slightly different design than the other Zenfones. It's more curvier and very handy. So anyway, let's keep the device aside. We'll take a look at it later, but let's quickly go through the box contents here. So there you go, that's the insides of the box. You have the user manual, the warranty card and all that. And then you have the battery. The battery is a 1600 mAh unit and is obviously removable. So here you go, that's the battery there. Moving on, we have the USB adapter, USB travel charger, whatever you want to call it, and then you have the micro USB. There is no earphones inside, so that's a cost-cutting measure, we guess, but they do have the USB cable, which is for data transfer as well as charging. So anyway, moving back to the device, you can see that the device is very nicely built. For 6,000 rupees, this is brilliant, and we think the soft touch finish is very durable too. And we'll obviously let you know how it goes in the long term, but for now it seems very durable. And here is a wedge that lets you open up the back cover. But anyway, let's go through the hardware first. So the device has a 4-inch screen at the front, 800 by 480 resolution. You have 3 capacitive buttons, and there is a nice chin here with Asus's own design that's there on the Zenfone 5 and the Zenfone 6 too. So it's very similar to what they have with some of their PCs and laptops. It looks really good. And you have the earpiece and the front-facing camera. The front-facing camera is a VGA unit. Over at the right, you have the volume rocker and the power lock switch. And then over at the bottom, you have the primary microphone. Over at the left, you have the micro USB port and the wedge to open up the back. And over at the top, as you can see clearly here, is the 3.5mm audio jack. Moving to the back, you have the speaker and the 5 megapixel camera unit, and then it is powered by an Intel processor, Intel Z2520 to be exact. This is the same processor as we had earlier seen on the phone pad. So that's made by the same company, and they have used the same chipset on the Zenfone series. So 2560 is the model number on the other phones, but this has 2520, a slightly lower end model, and it's actually pretty good for a 800 by 480 display though. So after a long struggle, I finally took the back cover out. It's very hard to take it out, so if you're going to do it repeatedly, then beware, because you might end up breaking it. It's actually really hard, or maybe it will get better. So anyway, let's take a look at the slots here. You have two SIM card slots, both micro SIMs, SIM 1 and SIM 2 here, both slots on the sides. They are under the flap, so every time you change the SIM, you have to open the back cover. And then there is a micro SD card slot too. Inbuilt, there is 8 gigabytes of internal memory, but you do have an expansion slot that takes up to 64 gigabytes of micro SD cards. So let's pop in the battery and see the phone. So the software on this phone is actually Asus's own UI called the Zen UI, and it's on top of Android 4.3 Jelly Bean. Asus says that they will provide an update, 4.4 KitKat update to this, but we'll see how it goes. And there you go. So that's the Zen UI. You can see some of the UI elements there in the setup. It's very flat and new. There are a lot of toggles here, and the UI generally looks very pleasing to the eye, and a lot like the HTC One M8 to be honest. So like the Sense 6 to be exact. So going into the about page, you can see that Android version is indeed Android 4.3, and going into the software information, you can see the build number and all those things. So let's quickly go through the software here. This is this Zen UI, and going into the settings, you can see the available storage and all that. So going into the storage, you can see you have about 4.6 or rather 4.47 gigabytes of available storage. That's the storage situation. And in terms of RAM, it has 1 gigabyte of RAM, which is very good for this price. Going to the running page, you can see that almost 356 or 366 MB of RAM is being used with 600 MB free. So pretty good in terms of performance too. The UI seems very smooth, and overall seems like a really nice phone. The display is slightly better in person than on the camera, but we will indeed let you know how it is when we do our review. But this is the camera app that you're seeing here. The camera has autofocus, and let's quickly take a photo here and show you how it is. So that's the Zenfone 4's box. The camera seems pretty fast. It's not as slow as we had expected, and the camera quality too is pretty decent. Hasn't got the focus quite right, but I think we think it's all right. So anyway, that's a quick overview of software and the hardware of the Asus Zenfone 4. Do let us know if you have any questions in the comment section below. We'll try to answer, and we'll make more videos too. So stay tuned and subscribe to our channel for that. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll come back with more videos.